What's up, guys? You're welcome along to my player ratings video after Napoli have humbled Liverpool by 4-1 in Naples. It's an embarrassing performance on top of an embarrassing start to the season, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I'm going to go through, give the players my scores, ask you as always for your thoughts in the comment section. Maybe give me your scores for the players as well. Drop a like on the video and of course hit that subscribe button. I am beyond angry these days. I am shocked at what I'm seeing unfold in front of my eyes, and I'm sure you're the same at home. It is uncharacteristic, to say the least, for this group of players to be as lethargic and as lacking in effort as they are. Now, everybody isn't held to the same account, because some players out there tonight, very few of them, but some of them did put in a shift, and I'm going to go through and give you my thoughts on them, starting off with our goalkeeper. And let me just say that we are not helping this man. He has had to do a lot in recent seasons. He's bailed us out with his magnificent head, with his magnificent hands, with his magnificent heart and his determination. And there wasn't a whole lot he could do tonight when the onslaught just kept coming and the defensive mistakes just kept coming. And it started right from the opening 45 seconds. One ball to the top, Osimhen's around Alisson, hits the post, and we don't take that as a wake-up call. So look, Alisson did concede 4. The only one of them I thought he may have done a little bit better with was the fourth one. I thought he could have parried it away, but even at that, I'm nitpicking, because what's the man supposed to do when the defence in front of him is non-existent? So I'll give Alisson a 6 for his performance today. It's a generous 6, but I don't find him a fault, to be honest with you. I think there's bigger problems further ahead up the pitch. We move on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think I've ever spoken out against Trent. I've had people question his defensive ability. I've had people say that he's washed. I've had people say all the normal stuff that both opposition fans and people that aren't a fan of Trent have come out with. And I've always defended him. Tonight was indefensible. It was embarrassing. It was lethargic. And for the goal, I can't remember which one it was. Maybe the third one. Left-hand side, they're attacking down, Trent's right hand side for us. And firstly, and I called it during my commentary, I said, look at this, Trent's not even looking up to see where the player's coming from or where his man is. And then when he gets to him and the man comes into possession of the ball, he goes past Trent like he's not there, and then Trent stands there and looks on while the game unfolds and Napoli score. It's unacceptable. And a lack of effort is something that no football fan will put up with. Yes, people have off days, but you want effort. That was embarrassing from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And the fact that Jurgen Klopp allowed that young man to stay on the pitch is beyond a joke. He was shocking today. Absolutely shocking. So for me, 2 for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I feel like I'm being generous with it too, because he needs to wake up. He needs to get somebody, we need to get somebody to give him competition, because he knows that he can play terribly and be picked week after week, because Jurgen Klopp has no other options. Nobody else that he's willing to give an opportunity at right back. So until that happens, we could be stuck looking at this week in and week out, and it is very worrying. We move on. Next up, Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez has looked okay since he's come back from his injury, since he signed his new deal. He's been maybe one of the few bright sparks defensively. But today, Joe Gomez was as guilty, if not more guilty, than most of the people in that defence. He was caught in possession twice. The first time he got bailed out by Virgil van Dijk coming back and clearing on the line. The second time, it cost us a goal. It's unacceptable from Joe. He should know better. You don't hold on to possession when you're the last man and not be aware what's around you. Put your foot through it, clear your lines, reset and ask questions later. That today was a performance from Joe Gomez that I hope I never get to see again, because there's a good defender in there, and yes, he gets a bit more leeway because he's coming back, but ultimately he's better than he showed there today. So for him, he also gets a 2 from me, because he can be better, he needs to be better, he should be better. Virgil van Dijk. If it's fair that we give Van Dijk the plaudits as the best defender in the world, if it's fair that we backed him for a Ballon d'Or, we also have to be fair in calling out the fact that he's leading a line that is conceding too many goals. Whether it's Jurgen Klopp's insistence of us playing a high line or whatever, I don't know. But those balls straight over the top are unlocking us far too easily. And it started, as I said earlier on in the video, from the opening 45 seconds of this game. He's supposed to be a leader. He needs to start leading. And he needs to start calling players to account. And he needs to buck up his own ideas. Because Virgil van Dijk is a colossus of a defender. But he looks like a pale imitation of himself. And tonight, he was as culpable as anybody else in another shambolic defensive performance. 1 clean sheet in 7 games is unacceptable. You are a £75 million defender. You are paid accordingly, and you're a leader of a defence. Show it. 4 for Virgil van Dijk. Robbo has been god-awful this season. He has. His delivery today was shocking again. And it summed it all up for me with his corner that went out of play and back in. Again, invisible Andy Robertson, not good enough, and his crossing not beating the first man, the same repetitive stuff. And I don't know whether I should hold the players to account or the manager to account, because he keeps picking them. Costas offers more than Andy Robertson right now. Andy Robertson has been a colossus for us. Andy Robertson has been one of the absolute bargains of the Premier League era. But for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, we are not seeing the same Andy Robertson right now, and that needs to be addressed. 3 for Robbo. Fabinho had a horrible second half of last season and has continued on with some patchy form. He is no longer able to break up play on his own back there because teams are bypassing us a lot of the time and just going straight over the top and in behind us. So Jurgen Klopp needs to find a solution. And I think that solution, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well, will be to play as a 2, to put Thiago in there alongside him and have an attacking quartet ahead of them, and to provide some defensive cover. We need to go back to basics. We need to start keeping clean sheets and then hope that Mo or somebody can create something, because we're too leaky at the back. And Fabinho is part of that. He's a number 6. He's a defensive midfielder. And his form hasn't been good enough. So today, I'm going to give him a 5. Milner. There's 2 sides to what I'm about to say. There's the part of it that has immense respect for James Milner as a model professional. There's the part of it that has immense respect to the service he's given to our football club. But there's another part of it that makes me wonder how on earth he's getting a start in Liverpool's midfield at 37 years of age when he has no creativity. I don't understand it. I worried all week we'd see James Milner in midfield. I hoped that we'd see a different setup, but we haven't. Milner played, and Milner's performance was god-awful. He gave away a penalty by punching the ball. He gave away a penalty by punching the ball. And how did he follow that up? Our captain, by the way, our captain today. How did he follow that up? By getting a stupid yellow card 9 minutes into the game as well. So now not only is he giving away a penalty, he's now on a yellow card and has to be careful for the rest of the game or the rest of the time he's on the pitch. And yeah, Jurgen Klopp let him come out for the second half. I don't know what message this is sending anymore. Arthur was on the bench. Thiago was on the bench. There were options. Once again, we allow a player to coast. Not good enough. James Milner, 3. Harvey Elliott. Some people believe that Harvey's taken up positions that are not giving Mo enough space. Some people believe that Harvey is cutting inside and forcing Mo wide too much. I've liked Harvey's performances. I think Harvey Elliott's been one of our bright sparks this season. But today, again, he wasn't able to influence the game enough. But then again, he is only a young man. He is 19 years of age and we're expecting a lot of him. I wouldn't have played him today. I said that all week. This was a game for players who are have a bit more nous about them, a bit more experience, not a James Milner level of experience, because that's too far gone the other way. But I felt it would have been unfair to put Harvey in tonight, and that showed to be the case. And I don't want to scapegoat him, because I believe this boy has a great future ahead of him, and I look forward to him developing at Liverpool Football Club. But he needs help. He needs better players around him, or players that are going to allow him to shine. So Elliott will also get a 5 today. Mohamed Salah. The man who I'm apparently not allowed to be critical of. The man who every time I have a critique of, I'm called everything under the sun and accused of having agendas against them. But ultimately, Mohamed Salah scored 2 goals in 7 games this season. Mohamed Salah was once again tonight nowhere to be seen in the opposition penalty area. And Mohamed Salah is a pale imitation of the player that we've seen before January. I don't know what's happened to the man since the AFCON. I don't know. I just do not know, because honestly, I seen him in the the Community Shield, and I thought to myself, Mo looks rested, Mo looks lean, Mo looks strong, and Mo looks hungry. But for whatever reason, we aren't getting the best out of him. I don't know if it's the positions he's been asked to take up. Personally, I'd like to see him be able to get a bit closer to Darwin, but in order for that to happen, Darwin needs to be on the pitch. So I don't lay all the blame on Mo's shoulders, and I'm not somebody who believes that he's finished, and I'm not somebody who puts him into the same category as Aubameyang and Ozil as getting that big contract and disappearing. I don't think that's what he's made of. I think he's made of sterner stuff, and I don't know why we're not seeing the best of him, but I hope that we can figure it out, because there's one hell of a player in there, and I don't think he's finished yet, not by a long way. But unfortunately today, a 5 for Mohamed Salah as well. Diaz, probably the only bright spark of the starting players today. He does not hide. He always looks for solutions. He always looks to take players on. His determination for that header that the keeper touched over the bar sums him up for me. On top of that, he scored his goal today again. I love this lad. I love the fact he's at the football club. Mane was going to be an incredibly difficult person to replace, but I really feel like that Jurgen Klopp and the recruitment team have done the best job they possibly could. Look forward to seeing more of him. One of our best players today, definitely our best player today. 7 out of 10 for me for Lucho Diaz. The only one out there that started that game, other than maybe Alisson, that can hold his head high. And now we move on to Bobby Firmino. My worry about this game was that Bobby should have been playing in an attacking midfield role, a little bit behind the attackers, being able to link up play and doing the things that he seems to enjoy and the things that he's good at. What I didn't want to see happen was what I seen happen a lot in the first half. Bobby having to come into our half, deep inside our half, to try and get the ball, leaving a huge hole through the centre and nobody there. I don't know why Jurgen Klopp didn't go with an attacking quartet. We looked much better when Bobby came on and we had 3 attackers ahead of him against Everton in the second half. And I'd hope that Jurgen Klopp would make that decision again today. So look, Bobby has been a bright spark recently. Bobby's form has been much better than it was previously. And today he just couldn't get into the game because we just gifted Napoli too many opportunities. So look, I'm not going to be too harsh on Bobby. I'm going to give the man a 6 today. And that brings to an end my player ratings. If you want me to talk quickly about the substitutes, I thought Joel Matip looked well when he came on. It's great to see Thiago get some minutes, and he was looking to get stuck in, but ultimately couldn't have too much of an impact on the game. It was already gone at that point, and Arthur got his first 15 minutes as well. That's it. That's all I have to say on it. Another embarrassing performance, another embarrassing result, and we have a long way to fight back from here. It is a long road ahead, and I'm very concerned about it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.